Are live? Are we live? Are we live? You
We're
know I had to
live.
ask that question. Hello, my beautiful people. Happy Saturday to everyone. Welcome to Raquel Flores Connection Corner. How are you doing today, my extraordinaire producer?
I am doing wonderful as always. I'm
Oh,
on time at least, lady. That's all I can say.
I'm so happy that I was actually, I sent you that voice note and I was just like, let me just give her a little call and say, hey, are you up?
You realized you didn't send it to only me. You sent it to an entire group of
Oh
people.
my goodness.
I thought it was hilarious because I'm like, oh, I guess I got the hint. No pressure.
Okay, we're live. Hey. I always have to check. Do not diss me on that. But yes, I am so sorry about sending that reminder to the entire group of people, but it is cute. It was cute. You're like, you know what? I guess I can go bathe now. A reminder, right? I was on cue.
Well, the funny part was I didn't realize it was a group chat. So then that's when I replied back with my normal response, which was, oh, I guess I'll go bathe now. Mind you, I don't know half the people on that chat group. So I was like, oh, well, they're going to find more about me than they ever realized.
Well, it's all good. It's all love. It's all in the family. But anyhow, I want to see, has anybody started pulling up yet? I want to send a couple shout outs. See who's with us today. Let's see.
All right. All right.
There
I
we
guess we're going to
go.
get the chat going.
Oh, look at, us. Of course, the first person that I see there is the famously known White Poppy, as I don him, Mike Asherbrenner. Thank you so much for being here. As always, your support is amazing. I see Jacob. Look at that, Jacob. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm so excited. You're very you're elusive. So thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Kunal Kumar. Hello, my friend. Happy Saturday to you. Tracy. Hi, love. How are you? Hope you're
And
doing fantastic.
I don't know who this LinkedIn user is, but I just want to give credit that you said hello. So thank you. If you don't know
Yes.
why you're looking anonymous, it's in your settings on LinkedIn. So you can check that out.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. What does he say? Jacob. See, this is what I'm saying. Jacob, I'm so happy to see you. You hardly come around. So thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning with us here and supporting. Jody Lamb. Hi, love. Thank you so much for stopping by. And then we have a lot of people, international people. You know
I
why? I
know.
guess because of the time, right? Because of the time. I think that's what it is.
Is that what that is? Which is great.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. It's
Costa Rica, Jeremías. Gracias, Felicia, pura vida. That's what they say
pura
in Costa Rica.
vida. Oh, I
I
love
lived in
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica for a couple of months, and I'm telling you, it's a beautiful country. It has so many different, just like I lived in Monteverde for 6 weeks, and it's just so beautiful, just like the rainforest, man. I was like, I could
Oh,
do this like every single day. I lived in the city too. Wasn't my particular, flavor of things.
no.
It was too hot at that point, and then I also went to the beach, Flamingo. So I was just like, that's beautiful. I did a lot of scuba diving there, so I
Did
enjoyed
you?
it.
Oh. Yeah, I
Yeah.
went we were in Fortuna and it just when the volcano stopped erupting, I was like, "Damn
Oh.
it, I wanted to see it." We had a gorgeous we stayed at the Springs, I think it's resort, and it's they've got all the, hot springs and all that good stuff, and,
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It was my first time zip lining, so that was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's
Cos
gorgeous.
Costa Rica is a beautiful country and it's so safe. Like I felt so safe there. Of course, I was doing the whole touristy thing. I was just like, oh my gosh, look at that, right? But anyway, Stephen and thank you so much. You're so faithful, such a faithful supporter every Saturday. Thank you so much for always stopping by. I appreciate you. Hey, Sam. Good to see you here. I appreciate you. Sam is actually here locally, well, in Houston,
Okay.
and he organizes the LinkedIn Local to get together with individuals. So thank you
Oh,
so
that's
much for
cool.
stopping by, Sam.
Very cool. Oh my gosh. So there's like a lot of really interesting names here. Okay, we're gonna say it. What is his name? Raquel.
All righty, let me see. I'm going to venture to say Parmanand Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma.
Nice.
Yes, yes. I hope I did justice to your name, Paramanand. Okay, and let us know where where you're tuning in from, what part of the world. We always like to find out. But anyhow, so shall we roll the intro, my friend?
I think we shall. So,
All right. So,
please, let's do this.
all right, let's go.
Hey y'all, welcome to my corner. This is your girl Raquel, aka Raki. Step into our world of connections where I'm a proud Hounds of Business Pack leader, which is a community of entrepreneurs committed to sharing positivity, growing together, and never forgetting to inject some fun. Get to know amazing people in this safe space, so come and join me in my connection corner.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Oh, I am so ready. I actually what I told everybody was I checked out yesterday evening, Friday. It has been such an intense week, and I was just like, my brain is like fried. So I checked out like yesterday evening. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. The only thing I'm doing is I'm doing the show today, and I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna go out in nature. Today I'm visiting. Well, this weekend I'm visiting the capital Texas state capital. So
Mhm.
y'all, anybody who's here, let me know. We're gonna go hiking. I'm meeting up with some college friends, just reminiscing the good old times. Haven't seen them in like 15 years, and we're going to go glamping. I call it glamping. I've never been, so
It's glamping for you, I can assure you. It's gonna be glamping. And we're also gonna be,
yeah.
like, roughing up in a tent, you'll be like, "This car is really comfortable."
Yeah, that would definitely be me, especially because it's cold. It's 42 degrees outside, and I was just
It
like,
is.
I was not expecting this because I'm over here comparing it to Houston, and Houston was 76 Fahrenheit yesterday. So today's like 42. Yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna be camping anyway. Susanna, I see you, honey. Thank you so much for stopping by. You're so awesome. I want to send a couple of shout outs to people in Canada. We have so many of our hounds in our pack, right? That they're in Canada. And I was chatting actually with a good friend, Harry, from Toronto. And man, he was showing me how, like, it's like 5 feet of snow, and I'm probably like that's not even the number, but it's 15 degrees up there, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I will not be able to do that. I could not do that. I see he says -20 here in Canada. Gordon Beach is saying that, but is that in Celsius or in Fahrenheit, Gordon? So you
Girl,
have to clarify.
that's Celsius. There's no way that's Fahrenheit.
Yes. So yeah, I man, I'm sending you guys some sunshine because I know it is not. There it goes. So it has to be Celsius.
Yeah,
Um,
well, they're Canadian. I think only United States does Fahrenheit anymore these days. I don't know what other country does.
yeah, right. Why do I always do things differently? Like seriously, miles and yeah, Fahrenheit. It's just confusing everybody.
It's an English thing. Didn't we take that from the English?
Girl. Anyways,
Hey,
but
UK crew, can you please shout out for us because we don't know?
oh, the UK crew talking about the UK, our boy over there, Nick Smethers. Thank you. Sending you shout outs. You have him back there. Put shameless plug. Say hi.
Is Nick back here? Oh my god, I'm trying to catch up here on everyone. You know how bad I am with this chat and
You
getting in.
you're
And I
good.
have
You're good.
full disclosure, I have very little voice today. I was literally back to back
Mm.
calls all day yesterday, both recording for clients and working, with my clients. And literally our last phone call ended at 12 fracking AM.
Oh my gosh, you really did have quite a week, I
Well,
would say, which is great because
yeah.
what does that mean? Brilliant bin media.
What? I
Yeah, ba, ba,
keep trying to
ba.
promote me and I keep forgetting I need to make a graphic for this. Sorry.
Yeah, that would be actually very nice if you could. But yes, tell us
Yeah.
about your brilliant services, your brilliant beam media. Tell us a little bit about it, Tia.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so if the way I can best describe it is this: we are living in an age and culture society where globally we are looking and in consuming digital content. Now, from a LinkedIn perspective, business perspective, what does that mean? And so this could mean a personal brand, it could be your business brand, it could be your corporate brand, whatever have you. But we all pretty much do business with people we know, like, and trust. I help people execute upon that. Whether you're a personal business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a corporate entity, I basically do that and help you guys out however you need me, whether it's consulting, strategy, production, post production, social media engagement, growth, etc. We fill in that gap. That's, I guess, I was going to do my Care Bear analogy, which is this, guys. We all have our own superpowers and our light within ourselves. Sometimes we need a little booster help. And so, if we all exchange our Care Bear powers and join our lights together, it creates a brilliant beam. That's Brilliant
There
Beam
you
Media.
go. There you go. And then, I mean, it's fantastic. The work that Brilliant Being Media is putting out there. I'm just so amazed. And I love it. I love the quality of everything and just how you like how it injects the pizzazz and the fun into all the content, right? So that's what it's about at the end of the day. It's creating content that really sets you apart and sets your brand, sets your business apart, and really make you stand out. And that, hey, that the light you shine, and the light that Brilliant Being Media shines, it sets everybody apart in a very glorious way, I might say. So
Thank you.
shout out to Brilliant Being Media, and also make sure you follow and connect with the page because a lot of beautiful things are coming from that and the collaborations from all the individuals in our Hounds Pack. So shout out to our leader. Look at that, Mike Asherbanner is always showing up. So talking about Mike Asherbanner, also he has a lot of things going on for month of March, right? Because it's Women's Month. Do you mind putting that really quick?
Sure thing.
Yeah. So Mike is amazing, like I said, and this is something that you also can shout out, Sia. But he's looking for women specifically in what industries or whatever they're looking to do. What is it that they're looking to do, Sia?
Look, it is a way to promote and engage with women in multiple facets, multiple industries, multiple
Hmm.
levels of leadership. And just because you may not have a leadership moniker, i.e., CEO, VP, whatever title, it is actually a leader in your own way, right? It's a leader in your own home. It's your a leader in your own community, leader in your own friendship circle. So Mike is a huge advocate for women, and quite frankly, I make fun of him and say that he's more female than me at times, but that's okay. That's because he's very strong in who he knows, and he knows how to support and engage. So, guys, join us for Hounds of Business for the month of March. It's going to be really exciting. A lot
It's
of
gonna
amazing
be.
women joining us.
Yes, yes, yes. Such like, for example, one of those amazing women's we're gonna have today. We're gonna bring her up in just shortly, but it's just amazing like I said, what this community is doing. And I know that up to this point, we just talked about women, but there's some amazing men who are also doing great things. One of them is Mike. Another one is Michael Gale from our community, who are just really looking out for individuals and to really make a change in the world, right? One life at a time, one connection at a time. And that's what we're about. And a lot of people are like, well, that's just another group. And no, we are really a community. We look out for one another, we support one another, and cross collaborate, cross pollinate, as CS calls it, because all ships rise with the tide, right? See, yeah,
Woo!
we said we need to start trademarking or like we're doing all these things for you, all the quotes that come out of your mouth. So,
Dude,
anyhow,
Nick is also inspired. I thought I was an idiom girl, and then you get someone that freaking writes a book like all about it. Like I think that is, I think it's pretty impressive with what Nick Smethurst, which by the way, the green book
it's Nick
behind me,
there. Yep,
and that's what we're talking about. All the books that you see listed here are people that I've connected with on LinkedIn that are amazing authors. They have a great expertise in their own right. So for sure, I mean, guys, we can
there
go.
you
We
go.
did this last time, so I don't want to keep going back there, but
I know, right? But anyhow, so before we move on to our guest of the day, I wanted to give a couple special shout outs. So one of those first ones is Mr. Paul, who really we just connected this week, right? He's an amazing individual, and you know him more than I do, and I'm looking forward to really meeting him and finding out a little bit more about him. So tell us a little bit about him, Sia.
Paul DeLegro. Okay, let me tell you. I've known this guy, full disclosure, it's getting on close to 10 years now. And when we met, it was actually when we were both sales reps over at Hewlett Packard. And at the time, it was called Hewlett Packard, now Hewlett Packard Enterprise. So we're the data center, not the printer ink people. And it was just we just connected on a level of like, we're coworkers, happy hour and all that good stuff. And then it was really towards the pandemic that I left HP by then, and he just reached out randomly. He's like, "Hey man, how you doing? What are you doing?" And he thought I was crazy when I launched my podcast producing, business. And then the pandemic hit, and I said, "Dude, how are you standing out for your clients? How are you reaching them since you can't, see them anymore?" And Business Brains at the Bottom Lines was the result of it. And so we launched it, and he's been going strong since 2020. we talk about everything, or I'm sorry, he talks about everything from technology to it's business impacts, as well as some really interesting folks. So if anyone saw the movie The Departed, he actually talks to a guy that he grew up with in Somerville, and you guys got to go check it out. He was part of that scene. So if you guys are familiar with the Winter Hill Gang, this guy was kind of involved with it. So you guys got to check it out. So if you really want to hear The Departed and Whitey Bulger and all that stuff from like the people who actually lived it and were there, you should check out Paul Delega has 2 episodes dedicated to that.
That's amazing. And then he's just so, just quite, such an amazing individual, a human being, and his persona, and he's just so nice, and that's what you'll find in our group, that we just really gravitate to one another, individuals who have all these beautiful qualities and beautiful hearts. So shout out to you, Paul. Good to have you and have met you. So, and the next person that I want to shout out, because I know we gotta watch time, is Mr. Julian Torres out of LA. He has his own car service company. It's called Premier Car Service, and he's an amazing individual. He'll take care of you. So anybody who's flying into the LA airport, LAX, he'll have you ride in style, and he's an amazing individual with a huge heart. I cannot wait to meet him this summer. Planning a trip to LA this summer, so you'll see all the behind the scenes. You get to do all the pictures there, but he's an amazing individual, y'all. If you want to get taken care of really well with somebody you can trust, make sure you follow Julian Torres, or Julian Torres. By the way, Julian is one of my favorite names ever. So I always joke that if I had ever had a boy, I have 2 daughters, right? If I ever had a boy, it would be Julian, or Julian. That would be the name. I like names with J's. So
I love that. I love Julian. I think it sounds just cooler.
It does. It really does. All right, y'all. So we've come to the point where we're going to bring this amazing individual up to the stage. She is by far one of the most genius individuals that I've met. She has like thousands of degrees. As we jokingly say, she wants all the alphabets, letters after her name, right? But she's just amazing, amazing, amazing. And I'm so happy that she's part of the Hounds Pack already, and that the contribution she's bringing, it's just amazing to the world and what she's doing. So without further ado, welcome to the stage, Dr. Constance Leyland, y'all.
You just caught me drinking coffee. I was like, I wasn't ready for that.
Hey, I'll have a sip with you. How about that?
I know. I was like, oh my gosh. Hi, everybody. I was just chatting over there. I'm like, oh, I see Mike. And I see Steven, and I see Mary. Where's Nicole? I thought she was coming. What is up with that?
I know, right? We have all these individuals
still, right?
Have you seen her Friday food post? I mean, they're so delicious.
I just had spaghetti. I made spaghetti. I was like, man, I need to go. I love ceviche. That's my favorite. Like, yum.
Y'all making me hungry. I haven't had breakfast yet. I had Sri Lankan tea and coffee.
Oh my God.
But Dr. Constance Leyland, are you okay with me calling you Constance, or do we go formality and call you Dr.?
Fine. CJ's good.
Throw the DR outside. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but
you're not in class, so we're good.
And it's one of those things that I wanted to go into how we met and how beautiful this friendship has evolved, that this connection has evolved. Again, speaking to the power of connecting. So you want to chime in on how we met and let everybody know, a little bit about who you are as a person, Ms. Constance?
Sure. Actually, it was through Mike. Mike and I actually we've been friends on LinkedIn, but I'm way too busy on other things. And I'm like, oh, let me check out what's happening. It was on the weekend. And I was stuck at home because everyone was out of my house. And so I was like, okay, I'm watching the dog. And I saw your live. I'm like, oh, they're so fun. And then I saw Mike and I was like, oh, I know Mike. He's good people. So I see his posts. And then I love collaborating. And I'm the type of person that if I see the vibration goes along with my mission, which is helping people and inspiring the world, that gravitated me. So I was like, okay, I'll stay. And so hi Jody. So when I actually saw that, I mean, you saw me, I was just like replying because I was so excited to see a community other than what I usually create, that someone else is out there helping people, helping the world, and bringing everyone together. Because like I have probably over 8,000 students, and all you can hear is collaborate, collaborate, and you guys are singing my phrases. So I was like, yes, let's do it. And then we talked. I don't remember how long, for a while, and we really mesh with the information that were giving. And I have a lot of projects. I'm like, let's collaborate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think on my end, I saw you on that live stream and I was just like, who is this Constance? Who is this person I've never seen? And I actually chose you for the coffee chat. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then when we actually got to the coffee chat, I was just blown away by your expertise, by just how amazing you are as a person and also as a professional. Like, oh my gosh, this woman is really like, she's fire. Like, she really is. She's trying to do so many things and she's inspiring so many lives out there. It's just amazing. So of course I wanted to be a part of your world and have you also be a part of our world. And because we have so many areas where we intersect, and man, there's power in numbers, right? And this is
Hmm.
exactly what we're trying to do, multiply that effort. And gosh, like I feel honored to be talking to you and you're like, oh my gosh, no, don't say that. But I do, I really mean it. So tell us a little bit about you as a professional. Why, what is it that you do, and why do you have so many degrees? I'm curious.
I'm collecting them until the day I die, I swear. Okay, first of all, education is not for everyone. I just want to put it out there. No pressure or anything, because like my daughter right now, my oldest is actually graduating high school, and she's like, "Mom," she cried actually before she opened her mouth. I'm like, "Oh no, what's happening?" She's like, "I don't want to go to college right now. I just want to pursue music." And literally I felt like this dagger just went in my heart. I was like, I have to think about that, because I don't, she went through a lot during the pandemic. But I have to separate myself from my daughter, right? And education comes easy for me. And in some people, education doesn't come easy for them. And I really did not find my purpose until I started my podcast. I used to teach K to 12. I also work in the corporate world for 25 years, leading teams, insurance, retail, you name it, right? Banking, and in the financial world. But what I found is that when I started teaching part time, I just felt invigorated to collaborate with people and smarter people than me and learning things from them. And then I go and ran to my house. I'm like, oh, I can apply this. And so when it worked, I was like, okay. And when I had my first baby, I had only my bachelor's degree. And then I told my husband, oh, I'm going to get a master's. This was like a Thursday. And I went into the office on Friday and he's like, no, you don't need a master's. You're going to stay home for a while and it's just going to be with the baby. And I'm like, yeah, but I kind of just want to go back and learn something new. He's like, no. So I registered anyway. And then the next Monday, 2 days after, I started school and he was on ground. He's like,
My
who's going to
gosh.
watch the baby? And I'm like, don't worry, I have parents. So I literally left my child in there for like 2 hours while I go to school. And then I actually was a nerd in college, in high school. I graduated high school early. I got into Yale full scholarship in high school. I didn't know how to speak English, but I love the challenge. I love the challenge. I love learning. And from there, I went on to get my master's only a year instead of 2 years because during college, I went to a bridge program. I did computer software programming major and communications, which is two separate. It was like journalism because I love to write. And then after that, I couldn't do lab. I had to work. And so I was a junior. I had to drop on lab and I was really devastated because I love computers. I said, fine. And because of that, I had extra time now because I don't do lab. So I went into a double bridge program where I take a master's class while I was doing a bachelor's degree. So when I got my master's, it only took me a year. I was done with my MBA.
Oh my
Then I got
gosh.
pregnant in the middle of my MBA. And my husband's like, oh, now you're going to be busy. I was like, oh, I know. One of my mentor, Dr. Tembugaran, he's a captain. He's a first Filipino captain in the U.S. Navy. He's like, you got the it factor. You should go back to school. I'm like, I'm in the middle of the school with this ball. And he's like, no, I think you should definitely get to this program I created within, Argosy University for your doctorate. I'm like, nah, that's too long of a school. He's like, no, you love school. I said, fine. So literally I signed up. I gave birth in November. of 2007, and I went back to find my doctorate degree in like 2008. And my husband and my mom just shook their head. They're like, nothing's stopping you. I'm like, nope, nothing you could say. And from then, I just love learning. And quite honestly, when I reflect about myself, I actually think, because I feel like I was abandoned as a child. I didn't grow up with mom and dad. And in my culture, Chinese Filipino, mostly Chinese, is like, you have to be number one at everything, right? And that's a lot of pressure, but it becomes a thing. So in my little head, if I'm number one out of 6,000 kids, then my parents will come get me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I did that. Honors number one, and no one came. Not even my nobody except for my maid, right? And we had maids, and it just, I think I stopped crying and breaking my heart after like 2-3 years after that, and I just kept going because it was a habit at this point. And I don't think I stopped yet. And so now in May, I'm graduating with my other master's, which I love computers. So I went back to get my master's in science. And this time it's cybersecurity and counterterrorism.
Wow.
And yeah, and I love
Wow.
so that. And then I found out during pandemic that everyone, including myself, need help on the mental health side. And I'm passionate about that. And Nick, I'm learning about puns. Okay, I'm trying. Um, and basically, I think if somebody let me in again in September, I'm gonna start my third master's in psychology. Not only to help my students and other people, but for me to help me get through my own issues because we all come with baggage. But I also started last year Level Up Academy because I've been in university professor for 10 years. I teach certificate all the way to doctoral program. I also been a K to 12 for 3.5 years. And so my youngest students is 4. My oldest now used to be 74. It's now 78. That's my oldest student. That I found out that college, even when I was a dean, we have to have certain curriculum, and it's all about theory.
Yes.
But when you go to work, you need soft skills. You need emotional intelligence. You need collaboration. You need all of these things. But they don't teach that in college. You find that out and fall on your face. Without a community like this,
Mm.
it's hard to figure that out. So Level Up Academy is all about transferable skills. And Syya didn't even know the difference between a PhD and a DBA. So I want to talk about that,
Yes,
right?
please mention that.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, but yeah, go ahead, go. Your girl, I'm still excited that I was able to type level up on time. So
Yes.
Okay. So PhD, actually, she asked me, she's like, oh, should I put PhD in your name? I'm like, girl, I'm not a PhD, I'm a DBA. She's like, what? That sounds complicated. I was like, no, it's not database administrator. Okay, people.
that's what I was gonna
DBA
ask.
or doing business as. No. DBAs and PhD. So PhD is more if your career is actually like into research, if you're getting into teaching, like higher eds and things like that. You love research. It's a research center degree, right? A DBA is focused more on the real world and the organizations and business problem that's involved in both the original or secondary research. So we still do research, but what we do is like, oh, we find this. I wonder if this theory works. Let's go find it, right? And then when it breaks, it's like, oh, it doesn't work. Let's do another one. That's me. I'm a kinesthetic learner, and I'm also a visual learner. And as much as you think I read a lot, I do. But then I think I have ADHD because after I read, I'm like, oh God, that's boring. Let me go get another book, right? And I can't finish a book sometimes. But for me, once I latch onto something, I want to test it out, see if it works. And if it doesn't work, okay, let's find another way to make it work, right? That's what a PhD and a DBA is difference, is that we business people love to know, how does this theory, what does emotional intelligence mean? Right? What is
Okay.
mental health? What is that? Like, that's a huge word. When you're like, oh, I work in IT. I'm sorry, what part of IT? That's a huge world, right? So there's so many.
Yes,
I'm like, oh,
yes.
I'm a business leader on what industry? You have to be very specific.
So the way I hear it and I see it is, so the PhD is more the theoretical, like, oh, it's like all the thinking, right? When DBA, it's like more hands-on, right? Let's
Yeah.
try
So we
this.
look at the theory and we test, like, oh, Sia said this one will work. Let's test it out. That's the
Okay,
difference.
okay, because I'm very sophisticated, I have to put things in like my visual terms. It is Is it literally like the Big Bang Theory where Sheldon is the theoretical physicist and Leonard is the experimental physicist? Is that what it is?
Yeah, but except the DBA does both. We do the theory and
And
the
the
action.
execution.
Yeah.
So you actually like back up what you say? Is that what it was
hmm
like? So you're so are you trying to imply that you're like the more legit of the doctors then?
No.
Joke.
Oh,
I'm joking.
All my PhD friends, TJ, I saw you. I have a lot of PhD friends and I hire a lot of PhDs. So no, we basically, I feel like most of the people who are PhD, quite honestly, the population, and I don't have the study for that, are more of the introverts. They really love to go in there and
Mm,
take a look at things and research secondary and first research. Without them, we wouldn't have a lot of our medicines. We wouldn't have a lot of our theory. We really do need them, right? And they also, not only that, they integrate other research to put it together. Whereas us, I think we are fidgety people. The DBAs are fidgety people. We want to just say, okay, how does this work? Let's test this work. Let's see. And then we look at the theory, but we don't look at like so many theories and research deeper. We just look at your research and said, let's test it. Let's make sure. And then I research some more and then I come up with my own conclusion like this theory doesn't work. Let's try this theory. Who's with me, right?
yeah.
right. And now let me ask you, how popular is DBA in comparison to PhD? Because like I said, I like to think myself of a pretty educated individual, but even me, I didn't know what a DBA was besides the doing business as, right? Or are there other acronyms out
Okay, so I think the popularity of DBAs is probably only maybe a decade old here in the US, but in the international world, a lot of people do have DBAs. And a lot of people do PhD because that's like the most popular one, but people really don't know. But you'll see a lot of the schools, especially like DEAC or WASC, and you pay like $500,000 just to be accredited by them, FYI.
there? Oh my
They
gosh.
prefer, if you're in business and you're teaching business, you better have a DBA more than a PhD because some PhDs are more into health. And why are you teaching business in health? It doesn't coincide, right? Whereas a DBA, we could be in organizations, we could be in leaders, we could be whatever that we need. It's more of a not it's a wider audience that we can capture. Whereas a PhD is specifically like if you notice a PhD and you ask for their dissertation, it's very specific. Like I'm
Mm.
researching the end of breast cancer, like really specific. Whereas us, we can literally put together, intertwine together an amalgamation of all the theories and we test it out, see if it works.
I love that
Okay.
word. Ooh, I'm just like, just
You know,
listening to her talk. I'm like, yes, poetic. Keep talking,
but
Constance.
you know, you know what I
So now
find
you're all going to
fascinating?
be a DBA, right?
Yeah,
I'll
no,
help
hell
you get
no.
there.
Look, people, like, look, we know what our here's the thing about the whole EQ thing, right? Is also understanding what your strengths are and what they aren't. And in this context, girl, you can read all those books and learn all those things randomly and be a polymath that you are. Have at it, and I will cheer you to success because, like, the idea of me reading all these books and completing them, like, I've literally started all of them, and it's not because they're not well written. It's because my ADHD is like, yeah, I'm good, and then I'll come back to it later. But it's not like I for my brain, could not sit through and go through college all over again. To me, that's like literally the definition of torture. But I would love to sit on sessions. I'd love to sit on, like moments in time and be like, damn, that's some good, interesting topic to learn and that kind of stuff. Which is, I think
Yeah.
the exciting part is, I think geniuses come in different forms, right? It's
hmm
not, and I think we need to clarify, right? Because I think there's an assumption is, oh, you're a genius, so therefore you must be quote accredited with all these letters after your numbers. Because
No.
I know a lot of geniuses that are like, this will be in honor of our good friend, Mr. TP over here, Mike Osherbrainer. There's a lot of redneck ingenuity, right? And I say
Oh
that
my
with
gosh.
utmost respect,
Yes.
my fellow redneckians. But dude, you see all the memes. I mean, have we not all seen those memes where like they've got jacuzzis out of pickup trucks or they're sitting boiling themselves over water? But you know, um,
Yeah, no, and I think that it's an amazing point that you bring, Sia, because gifted and talented comes in so many different forms and in forms of expressions, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend 10 years flipping pages to the left, right? Reading all the books and consuming all of them as you can, in order to consider yourself somebody who is an expert in their field, or in this case, like Dr. Constance here, she's an expert in so many different fields that we can't even keep track. It's just like 7,000 of them, right? But which is
You guys are
amazing.
funny.
And like I said, it's like a girl crush. I have a girl crush on you just because you're so amazing, intellectually amazing. See, when I was going through college, to kind of bring it back a little bit, I double majored and then I did my master's. And then I was just like, okay, that's enough schooling for me for now. But seeing you and just the drive you have with pushing education, especially for women, and we're going to get to that topic in a second. It's just like it's making me really itch for going back for my PhD, or maybe we'll do a DBA, right? So
I,
it's
I
it's
will cheer.
I know,
I
I
will
know
cheer
you
your
will. I
success.
know you will be
I'm a
the
cheer.
perpetual cheerleader for sure. So I may have to think about that for sure. Just because I think it's very essential to make sure that we do portray that we do become role models because it's so important. And nowadays, I know Constance, you and I have had this conversation, deep, meaningful conversation about educating girls, right?
Mhm.
And the disparity that exists. So if you want to jump into that, I mean, when you started throwing those facts at me, I was just like, huh, for real? Like, so
That was my dissertation. That's why I have a passion. I used to be an ambassador for United Nations. I volunteer a lot, guys, on top of everything. And I'm writing my third book. It's not finished. It's going to be finished, I'm hoping. It's leadership burnout,
Mm.
and how to not do that from my own perspective. But I want to just keep in mind, I saw Jody's like, shout out to my introverted. I love introverts, by the way. My mom is an introvert. She was uh, um, like a global executive for Chevron for 36 years. And anytime that you have an oil spill anywhere in the world, I don't care if it's Antarctica, and I don't care if it's Christmas, you will call my mother. She's the only one who will clean up all the oceans. And let me tell you, when she has to go to Africa or anywhere in Asia and she has to present, she would have to take a nap 2 hours before and then 3 hours after because she's an introverted, and
Mhm.
it takes so much energy. I see it firsthand for her. She's really smart, but like she's just like, oh, I hate going in and you can't tell. And she's like 4'10", by the way, and like 85 pounds. But she's like, nope, that's not how it's going to be cleaned up today. But I want to shout out to there that you have both extroverted and introverted. And I also want to keep this in mind. It's in financebus.com. 16 millionaires who never graduated college. I want to give this
Mhm.
out, okay? Bill Gates, right? He
Yep.
dropped out on pre-law for business in Harvard. Mark Zuckerberg, same thing, right?
Yep.
Michael Dell, right?
Yep.
Austin, Texas, hello. He dropped out at age 19. He's like,
okay,
nope. Let's see. Zhu Quanfei, CEO of Lens Technology. Steve Jobs, we know him. Richard Branson, hello.
Yeah.
Evan Williams, and he's the Google company blogger, right? Ted Turner, David Murdoch, Jay Z, okay?
hey,
Kim K. Well, I think she's trying to go back. Simon Cowell, Russell Simmons, John McKay, Rachel Ray, and Anna Wintour. These 16 millionaires do not have a college degree. So I'm not saying that if you don't have a college degree, you're not smart, you can't get a job. That's not it. It's just, it depends on your purpose and what you're trying to do. For me, it comes easy. And I like to learn the structured way. I can't help myself. I'm already structured, so I can't help myself. So just want to give it out there. Now, we're talking about the disparity in women. And so I want to segue to that. So there's a study out there, and I'll be happy to give it to you guys as well if anyone wants to DM me. It's not, I didn't do the study, they did, okay? Economic World Forum. And basically, they're saying this is a stat from last year. It's going to take us, listen to this, 132 years for women to get to the same level as men when it comes to executive positions.
Makes sense. I
mm-hmm,
see it. I saw it. I saw it. And I could tell you, um, there is multiple aspects to this, right? When you think about this, the one I want to lean on towards more, and you could say it's the system and whatnot. I do strongly believe there is a female challenge personally that doesn't help this cause. I stand very firmly in believing that women have multiple challenges that just by virtue of being female, um, that we put pressure on ourselves. There's this need to be a perfect mother, perfect wife, spouse, partner, whatever it might be, as well as a perfect professional. And then on top of that, a perfect leader in their profession. And they are expecting to do all that once at the same time, juggle it and not complain about it once. And if they do complain about it, they're kvetching. And then if they're doing it, then you've got other people who are envious around it. And women don't do each other good favors when there is envy in that mix. So I do think, yes, that doesn't surprise me, but I don't think it's necessarily the patriarchy or the system set up. I think a lot of it is within us as women ourselves. So that's my controversial statement is us women don't do enough to support one another. And God knows how many women that said, I'll be your mentor. And they turn out to be the biggest douches, worse than some huge, wonderful male advocates.
We
I
can be very
agree.
vicious. Yeah, we can be
Yeah.
very vicious towards one another, and that's why, I really admire the effort that Constance is putting out into the world, and that's where we were intersected, and we really vibed well because we're here to support and empower women. Because, I'm not dissing our male counterparts, but I believe that there's a lot of pent up talent and creativity that is waiting to be unleashed from our female just women all over the world. And so I believe every woman out there who's just sitting behind other caps that they're wearing, or the societal norms or roles that they're having to fulfill. There's so much creativity behind that, and I see it on a daily basis, and that's why I'm just like, you can be out there, you can do all you want. I'm an example of that because I was living that life, for 10 years. So that's why I know that, Dr. Constance, you're making such a difference in what you're doing, being a serial educator, right? Helping all these students to really channel their talent, their raw talent, but helping them siphon it into a more structure and meaningful purpose in their lives. So I commend you for that. And it's just like, I'm not going to start crying now, but I just feel that it's such an important and empowering thing that you're doing and helping individuals really create their own courses, create their own material that they can go out there and really multiply and educate other folks on it and inspire, right?
Yeah, I
So,
love transferable skills. So I have a team right now for Level Up Academy that I put in. We're gonna grow, but I don't want to run and fall, right? I want to just crawl for a minute or two, maybe three, right? Just so I want to make sure that I can scale slowly because I'm more about quality more than quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to build
mhm.
relationship for the rest of my life, not for the next 6 months. And
Say
so
that again.
yeah, and
Mhm.
I have a podcast as well, but I leverage my podcast for people out there, whoever's watching this actually. If you have a business or a story, even coaches, higher education, you'll see it. It says Level Up Higher Education because I was a dean and I use that platform, but I continue it. Um, so if you want to brand yourself and said, hey, I want to brand myself, I want to share my story to the world of my adversity and how I got out of my adversity, please do because we learn from stories, right? And we learn from other people's adversity. I'm not saying you have to copy that person because you can't anyway, no matter how much you try, but at least give people hope that they're not the only one who's suffering at this moment because we all have downtimes. And so if we're feeling lonely, I had some mental breakdown bad last year because I had too many deaths, COVID and cancer. And I mean, my pup for 12 years, he was my son. He wasn't my pup. Okay. Quite honestly, I thought I wasn't going to make it. I was just dying. And so if you hear a little, "Meow," that's my other younger because I needed somebody to be here. I have bought another German Shepherd. But I love animals. I love supporting people and I love meeting new people and leveraging my podcast to the world. It is in 60, almost 60 nations and countries and 6 continents. Anybody here lives in Antarctica, please let me know. Just listen to it so I can have 7 continents. Okay? Like
Dude,
somebody.
campaign for Antarctica, man. Like that's what you and I were talking about this. There's got to be some research people like, girl, Raquel, your friend Marcus, Dr. Marcus back there, Mr. Nuclear Scientist person, chemistry. He's got to know people out in Antarctica. You know darned well there's some government agencies
Yeah.
down there. So have them
Yeah.
level up, level up. But here's the thing question I have because I'm like listening to this is how much curiosity I think is required to have that. The genius is all, how much curiosity do you think geniuses have to have in order for them to pursue whatever wisdom of knowledge they're going for?
I wouldn't even consider myself a genius. I'm just an advanced student. I truly believe that. I think people who walk around in their sleeves like, I'm a genius. Really? Are you Einstein? Okay, here's my other question. Do not Google it, people. Who do you think is the smartest person in the world right now? Don't Google it. Take a guess.
Oh, wow.
It
Male
was
or
a
female?
kid.
Just give me male or female.
It was a kid. I thought it was a kid that just got
Nope.
like 2.0 something, wasn't it?
I want to know.
I could have
Anybody?
sworn that was an Indian
I'm
kid.
gonna give you 30 more seconds.
But are we talking about the IQ, EQ, and all the
Yeah,
Qs?
IQ only. Who do you think it is?
Oh, geez.
Male or female? Mary Baker Constant. No, I'm not even there. No, Mary. I'm just driven to whatever the heck where I'm going. I don't even know where I'm going. It's
It's the journey.
Marilyn Vassavant. Okay, Marilyn Vassavant. You know what she does?
No, please
She
enlighten us.
She basically just like, dear Marilyn, I have a problem with my boyfriend. How can I fix it?
Oh, that lady.
Never heard of him.
Oh my
Her.
gosh.
Yeah. And you see what I mean? So it doesn't, so when people label people like, oh, you're a genius, you're smart. No, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm an advanced student. I'm very intentional on what I want because I
Right.
truly believe in my heart of hearts that I want to inspire people. I almost died like 2011. I had cancer. I had ovarian cancer. And my kids were 5 and 3. My husband was nowhere to be found because he worked in the federal government and somewhere in, I don't know where, in the base. And I couldn't get a hold of him. And when I went to doctor, they was like, oh, yeah, you got to get your surgery. And that was March. By December, you'd be dead if you don't.
Yeah.
And I
Oh my
have
gosh.
small children. I shut down, cried, went to bed for days, and then just get up to take care of my kids. And then, and my husband had to call, I think the the city's police or whatever to come check me. And he came home when I told him, I'm like, I'm dying. And he's like, it's not funny. I'm like, no, seriously. In December, they said. And my husband refused. He's like, no, they don't know what the heck they're talking about. Let's go. So I went to Johns Hopkins to get surgeryed out. And for a year, I had to be on chemo pills because I was 80 pounds. There's no way I would go on chemotherapy. I would have died from chemotherapy itself. And I went chemo and my life changes and my outlook changes. The perfectionism that I used to have, I still have it, I think, at 50%. But I don't care anymore. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. I don't even care what my family think of what I'm doing. It doesn't matter to me. Because to me, I'm more focused on what I want and what I'm passionate about, right? And that is to
Fulfilling that
inspire the world
purpose.
before I die. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, and that's fulfilling your purpose. It's what's driving you. And thank you so much for sharing that information with us, Constance. It definitely, puts into perspective that you've had quite some trauma in your life, but you haven't allowed that to damper or just make you derail from your purpose in life. You've injected so much meaning and you know what you want to do. You know what your heart speaks to. Call it a higher being, a higher power, whatever it is that you want to call it. You just know that there was a fire in you that you had to make sure you follow. And I'm just so happy that you were able to actually do that and that you're here to make sure to empower individuals to follow that as well. So I commend you and I applaud you for what you're sharing with us because people can take away from this message that you're leaving that they can do it and they not to give up. It's never too late, right?
Don't
It's
let
never
your
too late.
past define you, though. Honestly, I truly believe that because I think my past trauma pushes me and fuels me to do more, right? To do more. Because I feel like tomorrow I could die, like literally trip on my garage and die, right? But what kind of legacy am I giving my kids, my great grandkids? They're probably gonna forget about me, but that's okay. What am I leaving in this world, right? Money cannot buy happiness. Money cannot time. And when people says time management is about controlling time, girl, I don't care if you give time 100 million, it won't stop. It will keep going. You can't control time. You can only control your choices. You choose to be
Oof.
happy. You choose to be sad. You choose to be, petty and catty. or you can choose to collaborate and move on. Mary, she's like, Mike, 22 years. Hello. Thank you, Mary. You think I'm 22 now? That would mean I had my kid at 2, but or 4. Thank
Oh
you so
my
much.
goodness. Oh my goodness. But I'm conscientious of time, and I know we're coming to the end of the program, but is there anything that you would like to a message that you would like to leave for the masses, a message that you would, if you were speaking to your younger self, what message would you give her, right? And then also, how can people find you?
My message would be believe in yourself more than the people that surround you. Some people that surround you, sometimes I feel like they want you to fail. They don't say it, but they want you to fail. So if you believe in yourself more, get people's opinion, but put a category in your life. A is yourself and B is the others. Because sometimes you have to listen to others and what they're going through too, right? But really extrapolate what is good and positive for you, not for them. Everyone already goes with negativity. No matter who you are, I don't care how much money you have, we all go through negativity. But if you categorize yourself as believing in yourself and move on and move forward and find ways to make you happy, that's really the only thing is happiness, right? Because money can't make you happy. People sometimes can make you happy, but not all. But believe in yourself. Don't be a perfectionist. Believe me, I've been there. It hurts me more than anything. And collaborate like this. Sorry, my pup is all over the place now.
Oh, puppy can be in the frame. Hi, puppy.
Hi,
Oh,
baby.
Perfect timing. But you guys can find me on LinkedIn. If you hit Raquel, you'll see me. I will tag them and Syya. And
Level Up Academy.
that's right. And now my mic is all over the place.
It's okay.
He
Look at
has
that
so
baby.
much love to
That's a wrap for
give.
me, I guess.
Yeah, no,
No, I
for
love that.
sure. Yeah,
You
for
know what
sure.
it
And
is?
thank you.
Here's something to be said about animals. They know when there's love and when you're giving love, and they can feel it and receive it. A buddy of mine literally just texted me yesterday during one of our midnight talks. It was a dog watching the unfortunate death scene in Lion King, where Simba walks and sees his dad, and this little Jack Russell responds to it, and then you can see Scar walking in, and that dog immediately starts barking. It's just right there, that level of energy that you just gave. There's a lot to be said about giving of yourself, giving and sharing what it really means to be someone that wants to really contribute to others' success. It's not just about you. It's not just about your personal successes. It's not about your own personal journey. Your personal journey is your journey. But if it's something that can serve as a way to highlight, to encourage people to do better, be better, want to do better and be better, I say rock and roll that ride. And so, Constance, that's why we're like, for me, when I first learned about you, I was like, this girl, she's got a great story. She's got a lot to give. But we're not saying be like Constance. We're saying be like what you are, and someone like Constance can inspire you. That's really ultimately the other thing too. I think too much on LinkedIn is look at me, look at my successes, look how pretty I am, look how ugly I am, look at whatever. It's like, that's great, but how does that provide value to the person that actually is going to embrace that message? And so being a genius could be a genius from a socially conscious awareness way, right? It could be a genius in, again, just simply being present. I think, to me, having that wherewithal to be present, just to listen to someone, is a
Yes.
form of genius to me. So that's why I really loved this conversation today. So, Raquel, I know I kind of like, that's my parting thoughts on that, because I do want to encourage, you're right. We don't have to alphabet after our names. Though, Constance, you make it look easy, but I'm just going to go on the other side of it and say, look, peeps, I barely graduated college. I mean, I literally had my counselor call me to say, there's a backside to the application. So I almost didn't graduate. Okay, people, just saying. So just
No,
saying.
it's all good. Like I said, we so for some reason we're in a society that loves to judge and loves to like go compare, right? Accolades, and I'm just like the best accolade that you really can achieve in life is learning to experience life itself and the journey, right? The biggest expression. And I say that with my all my heart poured out here for y'all. Just because we like to compete for some reason. We like to compare ourselves to other successes, and that's so detrimental to our own right psyche and mental health. And I actually posted about this. I think it was 2 days ago, because for some reason we just have the need to do that and use labels, and I'm like, stop that. Your journey is your own that, own it, just simply own it. Okay, so with that being said, Constance, thank you so much for being here. Like, we could talk for hours, just like we did it in our first coffee chat, and I know
Yeah.
that because you're just simply amazing, and the message that you have to give to the world is just simply it's empowering. I cannot even put it to words, all the beautiful things that you're doing. Just know that we got you. You have our full support. I know we're going to be seeing so many beautiful collaborative projects coming out from all the beautiful things you have going on. And I cannot wait to embody and embark on those journeys with you. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much for giving us your time. I know you have family time to go now, and the doggy is like, Mommy, I want you now.
I
So,
know.
I thank you so much. Hang out in the back for us for a little bit, and while we close it out. But thank you so much. And hey, everybody, give Constance some love. Follow her, and yeah, subscribe to the channels that she has. And she's an amazing podcaster. And listen to what she has to say. She's an amazing individual. So thank you, genius. Thank you, gifted and talented individual. We love you. We are so lucky to have you in this community.
Thanks,
Thank you so much.
guys.
Oh my gosh, Sia. I am just amazed. When she was talking about, her closing message, is like she was speaking to me, right? She was speaking
Yeah.
to so many of us who have gone through that same battle, through that same trauma, through that same just life, right? And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I promised myself that I wasn't gonna cry today. So but it speaks to the heart, because when it's heartfelt, when it's coming from a deep within your soul, that you know exactly what you're talking about, it really hits. It really hits differently.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate her sharing that journey, that she's been through, the trauma that she's been through, because you know what? If it can help one person, I feel like she would feel that she's done her job, that she's
Yes.
done what her mission in life is, which is empower and impact and really inspire other individuals to snap out of it and wake up, right? To
Yeah.
go out there and do the thing. So I want to send a couple of shout outs. Like, I just feel that some people in the comments were really resonating with what she was saying, and I just want to highlight some of their comments. I wasn't even able to look at them during the show because I was just so enthralled with what Constance was saying. So if you can pull him up really quick and just give a couple of shout outs before we depart, I would
Sure thing.
appreciate that.
So, Stephen A, really appreciate your
Again,
support.
thank you so much, Stephen. It speaks to the power of the support of this community has, and that we come from a fundamentally genuine place from the heart. Randy, oh, Randy House, my OG, I missed you. We need to catch up on our coffee chat, okay? So let's chit chat after this. And Mike Asherbrenner, as always. Hey, love you guys. I mean, you're just amazing. Mary Baker, thank you so much, love, for being such a constant supporter, and unwavering wave of support that comes from you is just astonishing. Anyone you'd like to shout out, Miss Sia?
Yes, Gordon Beach. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Really appreciate it. I know you've been popping in and out, and guys, I try to get to everyone and highlight as much as I possibly can, but I do appreciate you. So sometimes it's when you get to those deep types of conversations, usually our fun, lighthearted hounds type, style of conversation, probably not the most appropriate at that moment. So many times, guys, I'm right there. I'm wanting to you and like highlight and all that good stuff. But especially Mike with some of your off non sequitur comments. But we do support Mike, of course. Janice, she was a guest on Mike's show last week, and so want to support her. I've got her Tausi right here.
Tazi, there
I
you
got her tattoo on
go.
my back. It's a little blue awesomeness. It's detachable.
Ooh,
Mm.
there you
So
go.
really comfortable, you guys. I love it. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And then Jody Lamb, of course, powerhouse.
Jody, Jody, and again, like I said, there's just so much talent in this community that Mike Asher Banner, with all his heart has built, and tapping into individuals like that, finding individuals who are like-minded and who vibrate on different, levels. I believe a lot in vibrations. I don't know if you do, but I do. And when you really start to collaborate with individuals who are like-minded and who really believe in being interconnected and interlocked in, similar goals, magic sparks. Like magic really happens. And I foresee so much magic, so many magical moments coming out from our collaboration with Constance. I cannot wait. When I tell you I cannot wait to dive deep into that, it's
Mm-hmm.
because I got itching for it. Because come on, man, she's a powerhouse, a serial educator, podcaster, delivering messages, empowering individuals worldwide. She's in like 16 different countries, her podcast. Like, oh my gosh, her reach is insane. And coming from the heart, come on, that's like the formula for being able to impact. And that's what we're here for, right?
For sure.
So
It's gotta be a mission. It's gotta be a mission, right? And that's where, when we talk about fire in the belly,
yes,
that's what we're talking about. Like, so I think it's like just a reiteration because, Raquel, what I love about working with you is the fact that you are so genuinely mean to connect with everybody. Now, whether that's healthy to talk to everyone all the time, I don't know. That's your. I don't know if I got the energy for that. But what I do love about you is it's a place from authenticity. It's genuine, and just because you may not be able to get to every single person in this chat, like everyone in the chat here seems to know each other too. And even if they don't know each other, they're going to get to know each other. And I think that's what makes LinkedIn a little bit more kind space. You know what I mean? From a social media platform, yes, it's business intentional relationships, but it's also intentional, meaningful relationships because people do
yes,
business with people they know, like, and trust. And that's why I
yes,
do encourage anybody. If you are wanting to grow your presence on LinkedIn, if you are trying to put yourself up and out there and you want to be part of a community, put yourself up and out there. Get to know and connect with every single person that you see on that chat. They are willing and open to learning more about you. Do not pitch slap. So, just as much as I love to kiss, I'm going to do a little kick here. Everyone, please do not, for the first text, say, "Hi, I looked at your website. I can improve your website with SEO." Don't call people's babies ugly. Don't pitch them and say, "Hey, I see you do podcast production. I could be your promoter for you for free." Or, "Hey, I do editing. I've seen your work." It's like, do you not know what I do? Right? Like, take the time to go on someone's profile and just see their about and read a little bit, right? No one likes to see a DM slide in going, "Hey, you seemed really cool on that show. I'd like to learn more about what is it that you do again?" It's like, dude, go on the profile and see. It's pretty clear what people do for a living, okay? Maybe just take one of those buzzwords if you're that lazy. At least make it a little bit more personal. So, yes, that's my
yeah.
kiss kick pitch.
I
Now
see
push.
that. Punisher. I see that. You're on that rant now.
I am punishing. But
Yes.
again, like, be authentic to the connection, people. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
We're still
Yes.
everyone's still here, but come from a place of goodness. That's all, not
Yes.
self-serving.
Yes, absolutely. I will chime in on that as well, Sia. Um, quick disclaimer, I was having some technical issues yesterday. I had a coffee chats. I have coffee chats on a daily basis with individuals, like again, because I really do love connecting with folks and talking and sitting face to face to really getting to know people, right? That's just who I am and in essence as a person. So I was supposed to have a meeting with Stephen Clark yesterday, and for some reason the link wasn't just working at all. And so I want to take this moment to say, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. And we need to reconnect and have that meeting again. So thank you so much for being patient with me and all these technical issues that sometimes I face. But having said that, guys, I know it's time to wrap it up. Sia, we'll, I guess, do the outro in a little bit. But I want to go ahead and leave everyone with this parting message, as I always do. But before you do that, make sure you take the time to connect. Use this platform, use the comment section to connect with a different individual, somebody new that you don't know, because you just never know what can come out of that. This community that we're building, that we have, that I harbor, this is a safe space for everyone to really like connect on a deeper level, not just like CSS to pitch lab. Yes, the business can come after, but make sure you nurture and build that connection, because from that connection can stem so many different avenues that you can tap into so many different industries. So more than anything, make sure that you genuinely and authentically mean and have purpose and intent with that connection. I love you guys. You know that we're here every Saturday. We always feature somebody different, highlighting their beautiful soul, highlighting what they contribute to the world, because at the end of the day, that is what it is about for me. Highlighting individuals who are making changes and positive impacts in the world and contributing in a positive manner. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I will eternally be grateful for the support and the outpour of love that I get on a daily basis. I try to get it, everybody. I know I can't. And for those that I cannot, just know that I love you, and eventually, hopefully, we will. And don't forget to catch Mike's show every Wednesday at 6 p.m. What is 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Hounds of Business Pack Leaders, and Hounds of Business Happy Hour. And catch my show on every Saturday. And like I said, we love you. We're here for you. Don't forget to connect with all of us. Thank you so much. Y'all have a beautiful weekend and stay safe out there. See ya.
Thanks for joining us, and I hope our chat inspired you to make a new connection. Please like and subscribe, and let's build a great community in our little corner where we get serious business done by injecting fun. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, come back to Raquel's Connection Corner.